Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Now keep in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So in order to get a full picture of what's going on, check out your other placements. See what messages you have there as well. Okay, my friends, let's get started here for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is the energy around the week ahead for Sagittarius? What is the energy around the week ahead for Sagittarius? Oh, okay, we've got the Devil coming out in reverse and Temperance in reverse as well. So, is there anything? Okay, no, I thought I saw two cards there. Okay, so that tells me that we're sort of impatiently not trusting the process, and we're also sort of in a time here where you may be sort of trapped or feel trapped anyway to some patterns of doing, being, acting, saying that are no longer serving you. And yet it's sort of like what I feel guided to say, well, it's all you know right now. It's all you know right now, but it's not working anymore. Some of these patterns, I would venture most of these patterns from what I'm feeling are just, they're not serving you in the way that they used to. You don't need them anymore. It's almost like your energy is at a point that's vibrating higher than those patterns. And so when you engage in these behaviors, patterns, actions, thoughts, these patterns could be influencing you on all kinds of levels. It's just not working anymore. It's not doing what it used to do for you anymore. And as a result, you're sort of ungrounded. You feel ungrounded and you're not sure what to do with yourself. And this kind of dynamic is often a time where it's time to develop new patterns. It's time to disturb these patterns intentionally. So for some of you, this could involve addiction. For some of you, this could involve just a narrative that you keep telling yourself is the truth. Using words like never and always to define your circumstances in terms of the past, repeating itself. And believing that, well, I'm always unlucky, or I'm never going to feel better about this. I'm always going to feel this way, or, I'll never be able to forgive them, or those kind of final statements that carry, and it's almost like they echo throughout eternity. The more you say them, the more you pull in experiences that will give you evidence to suggest that that's true. And so it's very interesting, Sagittarius. As I'm sitting here, I'm feeling really ungrounded. I'm feeling almost panicky. I'm not trusting myself or the process in this energy. It's like you're feeling like a little out of sorts, is putting it lightly. It's like you feel out of control. But ironically, that's almost exactly where you need to be right now in order to surrender these patterns of being, doing, thinking, and saying, because they're not serving you. They're attracting things to you that you're vibrating at a higher frequency than, so it doesn't feel right, doesn't feel like you're in alignment or in balance right now. You need to get into alignment, in balance with yourself, and that's going to happen, I feel, when you start sort of breaking ties with some of these patterns of being, doing, saying, and just thinking, and for some of you, I'm picking up on an addiction vibe here, an obsessive vibe here, intrusive thoughts that become obsessive in nature, and then they sort of lower your emotional quality to a low vibration, which affects your nervous system, which makes you feel ungrounded and unbalanced and out of control. And so this is really an interesting time for shifting your own patterns. This is a pattern shift that needs to happen here. And there's the Three of Cups. So for some of you, it's not just patterns of thinking, doing, and being. For some of you, it's even relationships. So some of the relationships in your life are making you feel a little unhinged. You're not feeling connected to these people anymore. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just, again, you're vibrating at a different frequency now. You've shifted. And yet now everything needs to align with that shift. And so it's an interesting time. You might be feeling like you don't resonate with some people anymore like you used to. You're not feeling confident in your ability to shift things anymore. And I think that's because you're relying on some practices that just don't resonate for you anymore. Some people that don't resonate for you anymore. Patterns of behavior that don't resonate for you anymore. They're making you feel ungrounded and out of control, a little obsessive, a little bit like unrelatable. You don't feel like you relate to the same folks anymore, and there's nothing wrong with them. There's no judgment. It's just you're needing to find new experiences, new patterns of behavior, new patterns of grounding, new relationships that sort of feed you in a different way. And when you think about what relationships really are, it's a reflection of where you're at. And so that's sort of an easier way to understand why sometimes relationships in our lives change, because as you change, so too does the reflection of your relationships, so the quality of relationships that you had 5 years ago might be different than they are today, and they'll be different in 5 years maybe, like things shift because we shift. We're in constant evolution, and as our energy shifts, so does the reflection of everything around us. So it feels like Sagittarius is going through a time where there's a lot of pattern disruption, and you might be feeling really ungrounded. You might be feeling like you don't relate to the same people that you used to relate to, and suddenly when you're around them or talking to them, you just start to feel a little drained. You start to feel a little tired maybe, and you just feel this need to like exit constantly. And seeing the King of Pentacles in reverse tells me that you might be overly concerned with some material stuff right now, and you're not feeling confident about it. It's like you suddenly don't feel grounded. I know I've said that a few times, but you're not feeling grounded in yourself right now. And I think that's because everything is about to shift for you in a way that feels more in alignment with this new part of yourself. And on the bottom of the deck, we see the Star card in reverse, sort of confirming that you are in a state of re-establishing yourself. You're reconnecting to yourself in a new way, but as that's happening, it's like you've lost a little bit of faith and hope in yourself. But fear not. I honestly think that this is happening because of the reorganization, the realignment that is happening in your energy. And you might be taking that realignment, internalizing it as being lost. And you might actually describe it that way. You might, if you were talking to these friends of yours, you might actually say to them, I feel lost. I feel unrooted. I feel ungrounded. I don't know. I don't feel secure in myself. I feel out of alignment. I feel out of control. This is an interesting time for you, Sagittarius. It's almost like everything is feeling like it's in flux. Your patterns, how grounded you are, your relationships, your confidence in yourself, and your ability to sort of feel like it's okay to be in progress. You're a work in progress right now, and things are realigning and reformulating and reintegrating, and it's almost like you're rebirthing. And as you rebirth into a new version of yourself, things have to shift around you as well. And some of that is going to be uncomfortable. I think that's a good way to put this, is that you feel uncomfortable. This is a time of uncomfort. This is a time where you might be going through your home and being like, I don't need any of this stuff anymore. Why am I hanging on to it? And you might find yourself sort of like going through your closets and going through your storage bins and being like, I want to purge this stuff. I need to get rid of this stuff. This stuff is starting to own me now because I'm constantly moving it from location to location and having to find storage solutions for all of this stuff that no longer resonates for me. And you could even use that as a metaphor to describe other areas of your life where you're sort of just feeling like certain things have to go so that you can make room for the new. And you might be feeling a little uncomfortable as we get when we're starting to sort of rebirth and realign to our new energy. But I feel like some of this is getting integrated as I'm lost and I'm not going to find my way, and using words like never and always, you know what I mean? And some of this is hitting you in the material world, some of this is hitting you emotionally, some of this is hitting you in terms of your thought patterns, your behaviors, your ability to trust the timing of stuff and to just go with the flow. There's the Emperor. See, it's in reverse because you're a leader without any lead right now. You know, it's almost like you're the kind of person that is ready to take the lead and to run with it idea, but right now you're feeling like you can't trust yourself. You're feeling like you're not sure what you're doing, because it's actually not the time to take an action. It's actually the time to change your patterns. It's the time to shift out of things that no longer resonate for you. It's not actually the time yet for you to start leading something as in like a new enterprise. It's almost like it's time for you to figure out what that enterprise is first, and then to trust yourself, and then to go for it. Like, this is almost the time before that, you know, like, it's interesting. This is really interesting, actually. It's time for you to trust yourself, that it's okay to have a new vision and to envision that new vision. See, there's no clear vision when the Three of Wands is in reverse. There's no clear vision yet. And you're formulating it, though. It's not that you're lost. You're in progress. You're formulating a new plan. You're formulating the new direction based on where you're at now, because your vibe has changed. And it's interesting. Your vibe has changed around relationships too. You might be feeling kind of pessimistic when it comes to some of your relationships. You might be thinking to yourself, these relationships no longer serve me, and if anything, I'm mirroring these relationships, and that brings my vibe down. And mirroring is something that does happen when we're in relationships that somehow just no longer feel right for us. We end up starting to mirror the people that we're spending time with, because that's the only way it makes sense anymore, is to become like them again. And again, that sounds judgmental, but it's not. We're all in different vibes. And as your vibe changes, you'll start to vibrate away from certain people, you know, and towards other people. And that's just the stuff of life. And taking that personally and so forth, that can sort of become a distraction. Sometimes in order to grow and evolve, you need new people around. And that's not to say that you're judging the people that you've been around, but you're starting to feel what I'm talking about. You just don't feel like these relationships are evolving you. If anything, it feels sometimes like you're mirroring these relationships, and that's actually taking a step back. And you can feel it in your own energy. You can feel that. So your relationships are needing to clarify. Your vision is needing to come into clarity so that you can take the lead and go for it. But there's some patterns that need to be disrupted for that to happen. And there's the Queen of Cups landing on the King of Pentacles, which is very interesting. I feel like seeing the King of Pentacles in reverse speaks to your confidence being low, speaks to you feeling ungrounded and insecure in your identity. Seeing the Queen of Cups coming in to clarify that says that rely on what's coming through intuitively. Rely on the emotions. Love yourself. Feel that unconditional love for yourself, that unconditional regard for yourself. That will help you feel more secure. That will help you feel more grounded, and it will help you connect to your identity, which is a moving target right now. Your identity is changing. And so connecting into that more intuitive part of yourself will help guide you to feel more grounded, secure, and like you know where you are in space. Because I feel like right now that's up for debate. Bottom of the deck, we see the Ace of Swords, again, telling us that it's time to adopt a new perspective. You're coming into a time where there's going to be some mental conflict about where you're going, what you're doing, who you are, what you want to accomplish, who you want to accomplish it with, and what things need to change. And so it's a new timeline of adjustment in terms of your cognitive self, your more rational, logical self. Your definitions are starting to change. Things are shifting in the mindset. Your perspective is changing. Your beliefs might be changing. Your ideas are becoming renewed. Everything about this is about renewal. You're renewing your vision. You're renewing how you identify, how you ground, how you relate to others, how you relate to yourself. Oh my goodness, Sagittarius, there is so much changing around you right now. And you're really being guided to tune into your intuition, tune into your more sort of empathic and emotional side, because it's almost like you're going to find yourself there first. You're going to find yourself through unconditional love first. And once you feel grounded in that, I feel like then you're going to start to feel like your hope is returning, your faith in yourself is returning, your confidence in yourself is returning, your ability to be a visionary is returning, and your vision is coming into clarity every day. So don't lose hope, don't give up, keep moving forward, shift the mindset, shift the mindset. Let's see here, what does Sagittarius need to surrender or surrender to as they are rebirthing? Surrender to prayer. Wow. It says here, give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. I feel like you're looking for answers and support right now. And so that really hits. That really, really hits here. We're also seeing surrender your attachment to results. I think almost just surrendering your attachments, period. It says here, the formula for success is to do all you can do to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. I really think holding on too tightly to anything right now could sabotage you. Holding on to your patterns, holding on to relationships, holding on to this perception that you don't trust yourself and you're losing faith and you have low confidence. It's time to surrender your attachment to all of those things and to sort of surrender to prayer and to belief that you're going to figure this out, and it's all coming together right now. It's already coming together. The bottom of the deck says surrender stress. So I feel like you're carrying some stress here because of how ungrounded you feel. It says here, take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension that's built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center. You know, I was just sort of feeling a vibe here that for some of you, this could involve your relationships with your parents. As I was reading that card, I was gazing at that Emperor card. For some of you, this could actually have an impact in the relationship with your father or a father figure, or if you're a father, how you relate as a father. This is interesting. It just sort of hit me that some of you could be experiencing this through the relationship you have with your parents. Just a final message there that just came through. I'm going to leave it at that for you, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for joining me today for this reading. I hope it's resonated for you. If it has, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. I appreciate your support so much. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find that information in the description below. As always, I'm sending you so much love and light, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Take care, my friends.